Call me Bum for short.
Bum for short. Okay, okay.
I'm gonna call you Ninj
No, just Nin,
or
Nin, like Nin.
oh Nin.
How I introduce myself every time in my videos.
Like
Wait,
your channel.
yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right, yeah.
All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nin, and welcome to the RE Retrospective. I'm here today with Gobblebum, or Bum for short. He's a fat ass that is not a fat ass. You know what I mean? Anyway, welcome.
Thank,
It's
thank you for having me, Nin.
okay, okay, okay. All right, dude. No need to be so formal. Just relax. We'll get into this. Anyways, I'll lead. So with Resident we're gonna be talking about Resident Evil 3 remake specifically, since I've done a playthrough on that on my channel. You can go check it out. And then Ninja AQ. Okay, so it's Ninja AQ, so Ninjak with a k at the end. That's I have to explain that because it will be sound like I'm saying I'm ninja, but I'm not. So there you can check it on my channel. It's a full playthrough. The final episode will be out soon. But anyway, that's gonna be the game we're gonna be talking about mostly. But we're gonna be talking about the entirety of the RE series. And that means like, well, most of the games that I've played and he has played. But I never asked you this actually. What games have you played in the RE like franchise? Bum.
I played one, two, two and three remakes,
Okay.
and the original four, and also four remake.
Okay.
I started a playthrough of seven, but I never got around to finishing it, and
Ah,
that's it.
where did you stop at seven? Actually, I remember you telling me that you played seven and then you stopped in the middle. I forgot what your reasonings were, but where did you stop? Or like how far did you get?
I, I think it was after I fought what was her name? Margaret Baker. Yeah, I
Oh, the
stopped around
wife.
after that part.
Okay.
Yeah, the wife.
Would you say it's actually I say I'm gonna be starting a playthrough. I told you that already, but would you say it's
Yeah.
actually scary? Like, is it a scary game or nah? Like, it's possible to
Oh,
play through.
absolutely. I think honestly, I think it's the scariest game out of all the Resident Evil games.
Seven. Okay, damn. Okay, well, that's
Uh-huh.
interesting. And you've played one as well. You showed me like a screenshot of you playing one, and I was like, "You're playing one of the original, and why not just play the remake?"
Well, my laptop can't run the remake. I'm gonna have to buy the remake to
Wh-
play it.
your
But which is something I will do soon.
wait, your laptop can't play the remake?
No, no, I cannot handle that.
Oh shit! I thought
I
you got.
tried, but it wouldn't run.
Oh shit! Okay, never mind then. Because I
Yeah.
figured that your laptop could at least play the remake, since the remake is like the least demanding out of all the new remake, the first one at least, because that came out in what 2006, 2002. Correct me if I'm wrong. The
The
original,
game,
the
yeah,
remake.
it came out in 2002 on the GameCube.
Oh, oh, okay. That's why. I was.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why. Wait, are you playing it through an emulator? That's why. That's why you can't play it. Or
Yeah, yeah. That's
then
why.
why don't you just play it straight off the computer? I think it should be like on Steam. There
No,
isn't.
but even on the computer, I don't have the specs, the
Oh,
requirements to run the game.
but the thing is, if you play it without the emulator, you can like do the settings to make it possible to play it on your computer. Like you can lower the resolution, frame rate, and all that kind of stuff, so that you can be able to play it on your computer.
Well, I'm not. Yeah, that's an idea. I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
I'll look into it. I'll
yeah.
try that.
Try see if because even if it's like as long as it's like native to the PC, you could still play it. But yeah, when
Mhm.
playing through the original, what did you think of the first game at least? Because I
The
haven't played it
first
yet.
game, uh it was good for its time. I can definitely see why it was very revolutionary. Though
Yeah.
today, the it did not age well. You know, the voice acting and the animation.
You've almost been a Jill sandwich.
Oh wow, you know that line.
Yes, I know that line. I've like I said, I was before the start of this, but I told you I've been watching lore videos, and that's like a joke amongst the Resident Evil community. Whenever he says that, you've almost been a Jill sandwich, because it's
Yeah, yeah.
such
Oh
bad
my god,
lines.
that line made me face palm so bad when I heard it the first time.
Yeah, he
I was like,
mentioned
I didn't.
the remake also
What?
reuses that line, but in a different sense. They make it like a joke about it, but it's not the same line. Almost becoming a Jill sandwich.
The
But
remaster,
the
the
remake
first
one.
remake.
Yeah, the first
Oh, I
remake.
didn't see that.
Yeah, they do have.
They brought it into the. Okay, wait, Nin, have you watched the Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City movie?
Oh yes, yes, yes. I've watched
You what?
every Resident Evil movie. Okay, in existence.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Uh
wait,
huh.
have you watched the animation ones like Degeneration,
No,
Damnation, and
no, no, not yet, not
oh,
yet.
you've got to
I will watch them
mm,
after.
you gotta watch them. Those are so cool. It's not like scary or anything. It's just really really fun to watch. But yeah,
It's badass. Yeah, yeah.
what about the Welcome to Raccoon City?
Oh my God, that movie, that was 2 hours of my life I'm never getting back. But the point is, it was horrible, man. What
Damn,
a
really? Okay, shit.
yeah, yeah. But I will mention it because
Mm.
the Jill sandwich joke, they brought that into the movie.
Oh, all right. I don't actually remember
Remember
that.
in the begin, in
It,
the first scene in the diner with Jill and Chris
uh-huh.
when after
Oh, she
she
threw.
threw something at Leon's head.
Oh yeah, yeah. To see if he's awake. Okay. See, that's
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen the movie as well, right? Right. And the worst part of the movie for me was Leon's
Uh-huh.
portrayal. Okay. Out of everyone,
Yeah, yeah.
Leon and Wesker had the worst portrayals.
Even Jill
Jill as
and
well.
Claire, all of them, all of them.
Maybe Chris was fine because at least there was like a scene where well he got the scene instead of it was originally with Jill where the first time you encounter the zombie, like that the scene in the where it's like pitch black and he's using the gun to see. They had the whole scene be
Mm-hmm.
black and everything. That was really cool. I thought that was
Yeah.
like okay, pretty cool scene. But then
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty cool. Even
everywhere
when I
else,
saw it, I thought it was.
everything else is like why? Why did you make Wesker not be Wesker? Like come on.
I know, right?
Eh.
Yeah, yeah,
But anyways, yeah, that was a weird one. But with
yeah.
this episode of the podcast, usually it's about Resident Evil Remake 3. So what are your thoughts
Right,
on
right.
RE3? RE3
It
remake,
was an
not Nemesis remake.
well, I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed RE3 a lot more than RE2 remake,
Oh,
surprisingly. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
that's an
I because
interesting. Okay, good.
because of the amount of action and RE2 was it leaned more towards horror, whereas RE3 had more action elements. You had the dodge button,
Mm.
and of course you play as Jill Valentine. She's a pretty badass character as
I
well.
did like Jill, even in the original like timeline. I did like Jill quite a lot. Jill and Claire are some of my favorite characters, and Leon's number one.
Everyone loves Leon. Everyone loves Leon. Who doesn't?
Especially because
Leon is like the face of Resident Evil. You ask
at,
anyone
at this
about Resident
point,
Evil, even those who don't know,
that
they'll know Leon.
exactly that just goes to show how big Resident Evil 4 was, the original one, when that came out.
Yeah, yeah,
Did you know that Resident Evil
yeah.
4 was the first? I think you know this, but it was the one of the first or the first game that did the over-the-shoulder camera angle for third-person shooters. Prior to
Yes,
that, they
it was the first
it
game.
was the first game, right? Yeah, you can
Yes.
tell it's the first game because it's very much a very early on in over-the-shoulder camera angles in third person.
Yeah, yeah.
Consider
All the games that came out after it
to
was
form it
inspired by Resident Evil. Yeah, Dead Space, The Last of Us, the Batman Arkham games.
for dude,
All of them took.
Gears of War, the any take any third-person shooter game today, all inspired by this game. Any third-person shooter,
Yeah, yeah.
all inspired by what by Resident Evil 4. But yeah. Anyways, so besides, so you think that Resident Evil 3 is better than the 2 remake, right?
No, I didn't say it was better. I said that I
You
enjoyed it
enjoyed it
more.
more.
But
Okay.
no, yeah, yeah.
Then which one
But
didn't? 2 is better though.
two is technically better, yeah,
Okay.
because two was more faithful to the original, and it's a lot longer
It,
than
uh,
three. What
yes.
disappointed me about three was that I was enjoying it, but
Mm-hmm.
the story was too short.
That's
My
true.
enjoyment wasn't long lasting. It didn't last long. Like
I
by the time I got to the end, I'm like, wait, that's it?
I agree. I agree. Because I was the thing is what I was expecting at least when I was playing Resident Evil 3. I enjoyed playing RE2 more. But the thing is to give a background on my RE2 playthrough and experience, I didn't play RE2 like any normal person did. How did you play RE2? Just to give you an example. How did you play RE2? You just started off the game, pressed standard difficulty, and went straight into it, right?
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah, so what I did was I pressed hardcore difficulty and I did a speed run of 2 hours to get the S plus rank, and then I did again both in A playthrough and the B playthrough. This is my first time ever playing RE2, mind you, and I did that, right? And so now I had
Yeah.
I did that because I was too scared to play the game normally. The moment I played the game all the way until Mr. X showed up, and I was like, okay, fine, I'm done. I can't. I can't do this. I can't. So I just went straight with the play. I did that right, and that was so enjoyable to do that that speedrun playthrough. Like I would say, speedrun
I
Resident
could
Evil
tell. Yeah.
2 is so much fun. It's a lot more fun than playing it normally, right? But
Yeah.
I do agree that I did enjoy playing Resident Evil 3 as well. I enjoyed the beginning
Mhm.
portion. So like from the downtown area all the way until the sewers, until you get to the sewers area. The whole downtown
Yeah.
area until the sewers. I
Raccoon
enjoy.
City, basically.
Yes, only Raccoon City, the upstairs surface area. That's upstairs,
Yeah. Yeah.
surface area of Raccoon City. I enjoyed that a lot
Yeah.
more. But of I enjoyed that a lot more than the later sections. The later sections felt
Hmm.
way too rushed, like I was speeding through those areas. You would see it in my like
Yeah.
final episode. I went through everything from after the sewers all the way until the end of the game. Or after the hospital section was another great section, but I enjoyed the first
Short.
half. The hospital section, you also enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I also enjoyed it. It was very creepy. The atmosphere in that
Oh,
section was out of
it's
this world. It
it.
reminded me of the police station on
Yes,
RE2.
that is true. It did a bit. That's
Same
why
vibe.
I went through that so slowly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yo, which section of the game did you hate?
Ooh, there is one
It's
section.
the warehouse, wasn't it?
The where yes, 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 yes. I didn't like the warehouse section. It either was
Yeah, that
far
one
too
felt a bit.
easy or it wasn't enjoyable at all.
It wasn't enjoyable. It was very bland.
Yeah, they missed out. Also, another thing they could have done that I didn't like is having
Mm.
Mister not Mister Nemesis chase you a lot more.
Yeah, they really underutilized him. That was also one of the most disappointing things that a lot of people didn't like, actually.
Yeah, it's
In
more
the original RE3, Nemesis was he
chase.
was a lot more, actually, no. In the remake, he's terrifying, but
Yes,
in the original, he's there
constantly.
and throughout the whole game.
And
Yeah,
he's just as terrifying if you play like whenever he comes, is having to run away from him is the worst part. But did you know?
yeah.
Did you know this?
What?
Right? I don't know if you know this, but Resident Evil 3 Nemesis is what inspired games. And this is how influential Nemesis was. That's why a lot of people didn't really like that they removed him. He was so
Oh,
influential that every game that uses an enemy chasing you constantly, Outlast wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Nemesis. Any of those indie titles where there's a character chasing you, fucking any. Just think of any game where there's a mascot character or like a
mm,
monster chasing you throughout the game would
mm.
not have existed if not for Resident Evil 3 Nemesis.
Damn, I did not know that, actually. But now that you mention it, it does make sense.
That's
I
how
can't think of any previous games.
exactly because not only is that game introduced that kind of concept of a mascot or main monster
The
constantly.
idea of a monster chasing you throughout the game.
Exactly. When I
Like
heard,
one main specific
uh,
monster.
yeah, that's true.
Nice, nice. Yeah, yeah. Like in Outlast, the first Outlast,
Yes,
there was many
there was
monsters.
many in Outlast, but the one that was consistent all the way throughout the game, the
I forgot what was his
John
name was.
Walker was it? It's not John Walker, right?
I completely forgot his name.
It's been a while actually since I played Outlast,
Yeah, it
since
has been
I've
a
seen
while.
Outlast. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So that's just how revolutionized this was. But yes, Resident Evil 3 remake did miss the mark.
Mm,
They had the design on point. They had yes, Jill's character is slightly different from how I remember in the original story. But then again, it might have been
mm.
just um, the blocky nature of the original story. But
Yeah.
the
No, no. They actually did change her a
a,
bit.
a
I mean,
character.
the change wasn't necessarily bad, but
Mm.
the original was far better.
Oh,
What people didn't like about Jill in
just
the remake was that
mm,
she was too badass. Well, not badass. Sorry, she was too fearless.
mm.
You know, you didn't get the vibe that she's scared of Nemesis.
That
Her
I
demeanor.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, her demeanor around Nemesis made him less of a threat. Like
Mm.
Nemesis is terrifying, but when
Mm.
you play as Jill and you see the way she's like her lines, her comments, it's like she's annoyed with him.
Mm.
Whereas in the original, she was terrified. She's actually running away from him. That made him a
Ah.
lot scarier.
That is true. That is true. I did notice that because you would see in my playthrough. I'm gonna mention my playthrough a lot. I apologize, but
Oh no,
in
no, no, it's fine.
in my playthrough there's a section where I'm like literally talking about a Resident Evil movie that just came out, a animated movie that just came out, and I'm talking casually about this while fighting Nemesis. That's how
Yeah.
unintimidating he was in that fight. Because then again, that was my third time fighting him. But yes,
Mm,
at that point, you like this Nemesis isn't as scary in the beginning when you first see him. It's like, oh my god, this guy is relentless and really really big.
yeah.
But then later down the line, it's like, oh, okay,
He starts to become less of a threat.
exactly. That's
Yeah, yeah.
one part of this. But even though the one thing that they are doing with the remake is they're using the personality of Jill from the later games. If you see the later games, that's how
Mm-mm.
she acts. That's how every one of the main leads in Resident Evil, Chris, Jill, Claire,
Mm.
Leon, they all act like that, right? Where
Yeah,
it's not of they've been through this 1,000 times. But then again, they have been
yeah,
through this 1,000 times at that point. This is
yeah,
her
yeah.
second,
Exactly.
so this is a
Yeah,
bit strange, you know?
yeah. It is. It's not consistent. That's why. That's why. Like Leon. Leon is a badass. Everyone knows
Mm,
Leon to be a badass.
that's
But in the
true.
second game, he wasn't. He was inexperienced. He was terrified.
It's
They
his
nailed Leon's character right
in the first game,
in
yes. In the
the.
second remake, they did nail his character. They nailed his and
Yeah.
Claire's because it's the first time experiencing this apocalypse. This is first time
Yeah.
experiencing
Yeah.
zombies for that matter and tyrants and shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-mm. Exactly. Yeah. And for Jill, her first experience was in the Spencer Mansion.
Yeah.
But yeah, but Spencer Mansion wasn't that traumatizing, though it was traumatizing, as you can see in the third remake.
Yeah.
In the first scene actually, when she's
Is
looking in the mirror.
it's one of my favorite
No,
scenes.
that was
It's like she has this constant reminder that whether is she going to change, is it going to happen to her as well? That's the only like scenes where they're like showing her fear of the apocalypse.
yeah, yeah. See, it was only the beginning. Even
And
if in the beginning section she was scared of Nemesis,
yeah,
but gradually,
it got less and less scared of her. But the thing is, they to
yeah,
get to that point, you would have to have him show up so many times to the point where she's sick of it. That's the only
yeah,
way.
she became. Yeah, the thing is, she became fearless a bit too quick. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, I agree
I
with
think
you.
at least that's my opinion.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. She did become a bit fearless way too quick, way early on for that to be the
Mm,
case. Like if you see the difference between Leon from Leon in Resident Evil 2 and then Leon in Resident Evil 4, there's a stark difference because the amount of time that it's been since Resident Evil 4 is crazy. He's been through
you
a
mean
lot.
too?
Sorry, Resident Evil 2 to Resident Evil 4. Yeah, it's been a lot.
Yeah,
A long time. So
6 years.
6 years. Can you believe it? So
Hmm.
obviously it's a difference. There's a massive difference between his character from then and there because he's been through a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Be-
yeah, 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 exactly.
that's now that has to do now with the further lore of Resident Evil. Prior, there's a whole section in the lore where it's considered the downfall of Umbrella, and so there's a lot of games
Mm,
depicting Umbrella's downfall prior to Resident Evil
mm,
4. So you'd even have I don't know, there's this game called Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles. It's essentially showing
mhm.
the downfall of Umbrella. You have like a mission where you play as Chris and Jill going after the last stronghold of Umbrella.
Right.
Yeah, so that
Yeah,
and
that's pretty cool.
yeah, and
I should
Wesker's.
play that. I mean, I've heard about it in the lore, but I never knew there was a game about it.
It's only on the PS3. It's not even on PC. So
Ah, shoot. That sucks.
yeah, it does.
Looks like I'm gonna have to get an emulator.
A PS3 emulator.
Well, I think there is one, isn't there?
There is, but like you can barely run a GameCube emulator. How are you gonna run a PS3
Oh,
emulator?
oh, right, right, true, true, true.
I have
Good point.
I have a literal PS3. That's why I can play it. Yeah,
Ah,
that's. It's the one. It's a really it's an on rail shooter, but it's pretty good. I would say it really
Mm,
does a lot of the original cutscenes. Okay, what do you think of the
cool.
direction Resident Evil is going in? Having two timelines. Do you know that there's like two consecutive timelines at the moment? There's the original one until Resident Evil
Uh-huh.
8, and then there's the new timeline that they're
Yeah.
starting with remake 2 and 3 and 4.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. No, I know that. I'm aware of that. That's
Yeah.
actually something that's a bit confusing for me. It's
Mm.
cool, but it makes me wonder at times, okay, what are they gonna do in the future? Like if they in Resident Evil 9, if they brought back Leon, are they gonna use, the remake face model, or are they gonna use the same model from Resident Evil 6? It's kind of weird. It's like there's two different Leons
That's
if you think
true.
about it.
That's true. But you would have to take a look at like Resident Evil Vendetta, and then Resident
Mm-hmm.
Evil. These are animated movies. Resident Evil Vendetta, the Resident Evil Netflix series, not that one, not the one that you're thinking. You know what I'm talking about, right? When I say Netflix
Yeah.
series,
What?
Resident Evil Netflix
Oh,
series.
yeah. I've
Which
heard
one?
about that
Which
series.
wait, which one you did? Clarify for me.
Are you talking about the live action series that has none of the main characters?
Not that one. I meant the other one.
Not that one.
The four episode one.
The
Not
wait, what was it called again?
Resident Evil, but I don't know. It was something Resident Evil.
No,
It's on Netflix.
Infinite Darkness.
Yes, that's
It
the
was
one.
Infinite Darkness.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's one. That one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know
it,
that.
it has Leon and Claire in it, but it's about it also shows where Leon is going. So after Resident Evil 6,
Mm-hmm.
Vendetta occurs. Resident Evil Vendetta the movie,
Uh-huh.
and it shows Leon's
Yeah.
character as so in Resident Evil 8 and Resident Evil 7, where Chris is a part of, they are part of a new umbrella called Blue Umbrella.
Yeah,
That's what the
I
blue
saw something of that in the
in the
Resident Evil 7 ending.
yeah. So that's like the new umbrella corporation called Blue Umbrella. And there's a counter one to that being Red Umbrella, which is now the old umbrella trying to come back. It,
Ooh,
so
damn. So
it's
they're coming. Wait,
too,
when does it mention that they're coming back?
oh, it's in the game which everyone really hates. I don't know if you know about this. It's called the Umbrella Corp games. Umbrella Corp game.
Oh, was it the multiplayer? It was a multiplayer shooter, right?
Yeah, that one. The very bad
Yeah,
multiplayer.
yeah.
Yeah, it's in that one where that's being it takes place. Where there's
Ah,
this
I
battle
see.
between the new umbrella, that's the blue, and then red umbrella
Hmm.
coming back.
Damn, that sounds pretty dope. I
It
mean, and
it
a bit
does.
terrifying.
It does, because that I don't know where this would lead, but wait, have you ever played Resident Evil 5 and 6?
No, I never
No.
did.
Ah, okay.
Nope.
Because then I was gonna ask you which of the Resident Evil series do you prefer? The original series of the horror, or
Hmm.
um the action part of Resident Evil? So there's the two parts. There's the two series. There's the original horror
Yeah.
era series, and then there's the
Hmm.
action
Hmm.
era series. So which one do you prefer? Personally, I prefer the new action orientated series, but I don't know about you.
Which ones? I
So
know the 5 and 6 are very
four,
heavily action
so
oriented.
4, 5, 6. Those are like the
Hmm.
mainline titles, and then the ones in
Yeah.
between that, Revelations and Revelations 2.
Mm. Yeah, I know those ones as well. I think you play as Claire in them, if I remember correctly, right?
Say again?
No, in Revelations you play as Jill.
Oh, whoa,
In
whoa.
Revelations.
Yes. Revelations 1, you play as Jill and Chris. Revelations 2,
Yeah,
you play as Claire
Claire and some
Burton. Remember Resident Evil 1's Bart, the guy who says Jill sandwich?
Barry? Barry
Barry,
Burton.
yes, he's in Resident
Uh,
Evil Revelations 2.
damn, I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick. I really hope they didn't make him say another cheesy line in that
And
one.
they made it look from that point onwards, cheesy lines was all they had, okay? There's a lot of those in Resident Evil 6, Resident Evil
Yeah.
5. There's a scene where Wesker is yelling Chris, and then Chris goes goodbye
Yeah.
or something like that, and shoots him with one bullet. Very Capcom-ish.
True, true.
Uh,
The Resident Evil is well known for its
Cheesy.
cheesy B movie dialogue in its
Yeah,
moments.
but it's such a complex, multi-layered story with B movie plot. It's so weird. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, it's what makes the series charming. You know,
Exactly. I agree with
it's
you
not.
there.
Yeah, it's not like the dialogue. Nobody finds it cringy. In fact, they find it entertaining because like this is Resident Evil.
Yeah. The weirdness is Resident Evil. The big blob
Exactly.
monster that you fight at the end, that's Resident Evil. And the one of the characters pointing their gun, their pistol, and then saying some cheesy line, and then pulling the trigger, and the bullet goes into them,
Uh
and it's
huh.
a one shot. That's
And
Resident Evil.
defying the laws of physics. That's
That's
Resident Evil.
that's
Chris
re-
punching a boulder. That's Resident Evil.
yes, that's Resident Evil. Then again, you fight the guy that he literally fight in that in that boss fight. He's fighting a guy that has literal superhuman strength. He moves faster than a bullet, yet he's
Uh-huh.
fighting him with his bare hands.
I know, right? But I mean, just the sentence itself that you're saying that defines Resident
It
Evil.
defines Resident Evil. But that's what makes it so
Yeah.
fun to play these games, and they keep improving on it
Yeah.
as. But yeah, another thing, what do you like better? I keep asking you the question. What do you like? What do you like better, the tank controls or the third person controls?
Oh, come on, the third person controls.
Okay.
It's no contest. Nobody likes tank controls anymore.
You'd be surprised. There's a lot of people that wish for the old school tank control Resident Evil games. But
Huh?
yeah, I know, right? I was surprised as well, but
So odd.
it wasn't the fact that they had to do it like that, but it was
Mm.
because it's not that they wanted to do it; they had to do it like that. Limitations and all that, hardware
Yeah,
limitations.
yeah. That wasn't, but tank controls wasn't a Resident Evil specific
Yeah,
choice.
yeah,
A lot of games during that time
had
used
tank
tank
controls,
controls. Silent Hill 2 used
but
the first two.
but
I think
the
the first
first
Silent Hill
first one
games.
and the second one, first four
Yeah,
games did tank controls. The four meaning
yeah, yeah. That's not something exclusive to Resident Evil. So it's weird that people associate tank controls with that.
yeah, because that was the most popular with tank controls at the time, especially on the PS1. That
Hmm.
was like a huge pop. The horror survival horror was a huge popular thing with that tank controls. And so when they
Hmm.
changed it up, they first thought they had to go in an action oriented direction, especially where the story was
Hmm.
going in Resident Evil. They had to go in that action oriented direction. But they went
Yeah,
way too
yeah.
far with Resident Evil 6. Even though I love Resident Evil 6, I agree that they did go a
Hmm.
little too far. Like,
It
it's
was over the top.
very over the top, but it's so much fun to
Yeah.
play. You get a friend with you,
Hmm.
and you just straight up play the entirety. There's like
Hmm.
5 different campaigns, and it all came on disc. You had like six, not six. You
Oof.
had like 4 different campaigns, and they're all the same length. So
Damn.
yeah, you had a lot, and you paid like $60 for that whole thing. That was crazy.
Oof. I should definitely play it.
Yeah. It's definitely a fun game rather than it being scary. It's not scary in the slightest.
Hmm.
So, but then they
Yes.
second.
I was saying that what makes Resident Evil special about other horror games
Mm,
is that it combine Resident Evil has this specific formula of horror and action. The
that's
game
true.
is scary, but at the same time, if you know what you're doing, it's not that scary.
Mm,
But they don't give you that much like ability. Like it's like the Capcom wants you to know that if you don't use your brain properly, if you don't utilize your resources properly,
uh,
you will die. You know,
mm.
you're not this invincible hero.
Yes, yes,
It's
that's true.
it's
Even in the later games, you would eventually run out of ammo. It's not like it's still a survival type game, but you won't run out of ammo.
Yeah, yeah. In the beginning, the first three games leaned more towards the horror side,
Mm.
but with four, they completely went in a different. They didn't go in a different direction. People say that four was completely changed everything. No, it didn't change. It just leaned more towards the action
Yes,
side.
but that's where they had to
Four was
go.
also scary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
yeah. Of
all
course, they
ports.
couldn't do the same thing over and over again. I mean,
That's the
and
thing.
honestly,
They were doing the same thing over and over again. If you did you know
yeah,
before Resident Evil 4, there was like a bunch of games in the tank control style.
Mm-hmm.
They just had Code Veronica in tank control style. It was the only game in that era with tank
Mm.
controls. So
Yeah,
they had to
I
change it up at
see.
some point. When
Yeah, yeah.
it couldn't stay the same with the tank controls forever. It was
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not just the tank controls, the horror aspect. They had to bring something new to the franchise. Otherwise, the franchise would become,
absolutely stale.
how would I say? Yeah, like the Fast and Furious movies.
They have
That's a very
become
good example. They do the same thing over and over and over again.
yes.
Now people hate the movies.
But actually, people still like them
There's
for
10
some
Fast and
reason.
Furious movies. Yeah, okay, yeah, those people have horrible taste in movies. I don't know anyone who likes Fast and Furious. But the point is, see, there's 10 Fast and Furious movies,
mm,
and it's all the same thing over and over. No, no, yeah, that's why the movies suck. But
yeah.
Resident Evil, if you think about it, how many games are there? There's so many games, right?
Yes, that's true.
But the games are different. That's
Mm,
why Resident Evil hasn't died
yeah.
yet.
They're all different, and they all have something to them that's really enjoyable. It's very strange.
Exactly.
They all have
Yeah,
something
I
that's so
know.
enjoyable about them. You can play any Resident Evil game and you will still find some joy in it.
Yeah, it's unexplainable, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know how they like Resident Evil, the franchise, they did right. After four,
Mm.
honestly, with six, they were trying to a bit. They were trying to go off the rails a bit. They were trying. Resident
Yeah.
Evil sucked a little bit. They leaned more towards action, and they were neglecting the horror
Yes,
aspect,
that's true.
which
They
is
were
something that,
doing they were
yeah,
doing both.
yeah,
One second. One
yeah. They were
second.
doing both, but
My
yeah.
my
What's up?
my cat is sitting on my computer desk and I'm trying to get him off. Off. There you go. Okay. Right. Sorry. Wait.
And as I was saying, that Resident Evil there has to be both horror and action. But
Yes.
with five and six, it was you could tell that they were
Only action.
slowly. Yeah, they were gonna continue in that direction, which
But
was not good.
yeah, I understand that. But the thing is, with Resident Evil 6, the one part that
Mm,
was redeeming about it, right, was its story. Every one of the characters that were present in the gameplay is also like fantastic. But the one part
mm,
that was in Resident Evil 6 that I think that a lot of people missed was all of those characters. The one thing they did
mm,
was they kept every single of those characters in all that they've been through. They've kept that there. So however they are
mm,
being portrayed and however they are behaving is because of all of that.
mm.
For example, Chris Redfield had gone through so much trauma from Resident Evil 1, and then having to almost lose his
Yeah,
sister in Resident Evil called Veronica, and then he has been through so much throughout the
yeah.
years, and now in Resident Evil 6, he's a bit down in the dumps because he's now
Mm,
in the bottle, drinking so much, he's depressed and all that kind of stuff. Because he just in that game as well, he loses his entire
yeah.
squad because of his
Right, right.
incompetence, and so you see he's now at the lowest point in his life, and
True,
he
true.
wants to just move on from this, right? And it's like
Mm,
constant. Same with Leon in Resident Evil Vendetta. In this game, he not only loses his friend, the president, who was his best friend. Can you believe
mm.
it? And then
That's so weird.
he loses his friend, and then he has to battle throughout the entire city, go through all this, almost losing one of his love interests, Ada Wong, and he all this drama from all the stuff. You see how they react in this game, how what they've
Hmm.
been through. It's like the combination of everything that they've been through. That's what Resident Evil 6 was.
Yeah,
But yes, I
yeah.
agree.
Resident Evil Six.
It went way too much on the
Resident Evil
action.
Six. Yeah, yeah. It wasn't. Resident Evil Six wasn't a bad game. It was
Mm.
a good Resident Evil game. The
But
story was perfect.
yeah, but the thing
Characters
is,
are amazing. I mean,
it came out
it
of
was a fever dream. I mean, come on,
yes.
Leon, Chris,
It's
come on.
everyone was there except for Jill and except for Claire and Barry, and the really good characters are not there. But everyone else was
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
They were all there in
yeah,
this
yeah,
game. Hell, even Sherry.
yeah.
Sherry's also in that game. Do you know Sherry Birkin?
Jerry Birkin.
Yes.
Holy shoot! Wait,
William
she's in the
Birkin's.
game.
She's
I
in,
didn't.
you play as her. She's one of the playable characters. Her whole campaign is there. Sherry Birkin, William Birkin's daughter, and Albert Wesker's
Yeah.
son is all in this game. Like, how?
Oh my lord.
That was
it's a fever dream.
it is. It's a fever dream. It's
It's a
so
peak.
it was the weirdest thing, but it's also I agree they went far too much on the action. There was way too much.
Yeah, not enough horror.
Not enough
That's just
horror.
that's the only thing that people didn't like about Resident Evil 6.
That it
Otherwise,
was
no
it,
one
it was
hates
it was
Resident Evil
actually it was two things. It was not it was way too much action. It felt like an on-rail shooter, and the not
6.
enough horror, but also not enough puzzles. Resident Evil always is known for at least having
Oh,
incorporated some sort of puzzle.
yes, you're completely right. Yeah, that's also another thing that I love about the Resident Evil games, the
Exact
puzzle aspect.
puzzle aspect. Not when you're like having to protect Ashley and then doing a puzzle at the same time, but doing a puzzle
Yeah,
in with it being calm and all that.
yeah. Like in two, in
Yeah,
the remake,
two remake. There
and
was
the
a lot
remake
of
game.
really good puzzles. I would have been able to figure them out on my
Yeah.
own, but yeah, it was great puzzles. I love doing the puzzles in the Resident Evil series. It's just when they like have you protect someone while doing the puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Then yeah,
Which
no,
isn't That's not always.
not always the
Even in
case.
four, there wasn't a
A ton of that.
that wasn't the case. I don't remember a
There
part.
was one, isn't there? There was like one puzzle you had to do while protecting Ashley. Then again, that's the one aspect as to why I'm like dreading playing Resident Evil 4. I love playing Resident Evil 4,
Mm-hmm.
but the part that I dread
Uh,
is always protecting Ashley.
no, actually, let me tell you something. Then that part is something people exaggerate.
Uh,
People
no,
complain about how annoying Ashley is,
I've been in that
but
section. That's why
uh,
I'm talking about it.
no, I played that section too.
uh,
Like that was in 2016, I think. I played the game at that time.
yeah,
But now I'm playing the game right now. I'm almost finished with it. Now
yeah,
when I play, I'm like, you know what? Actually, isn't that annoying? And the
yeah.
game isn't that difficult. It's
It
just that I was a noob back then. That's why. That's
yeah.
why I found her annoying.
I agree. I agree. It's just that section,
Mm-hmm,
like right in the beginning with the cannonball, right in the beginning of the castle section,
mm-hmm.
and there's a cannonball shooting
Yeah.
at you, and there's a bunch of granados, and you have to protect Ashley while trying to take down the cannonball. And every time I'm trying to take down the
Oh,
cannonball, Ashley gets grabbed, so I have to protect her again, and I'm running out low on ammo, and it is like so
oh.
much stress that I was like, oh fuck this.
No, that part was also. No, that part wasn't that difficult either. You know that there's a button for Ashley to get her to wait or to follow you.
Yes, I know. But every time I put it, wait there for a second, I run, get the guy, I shoot the guys, and then they grab Ashley, and I
Mm-hmm,
gotta run all the way back to stop them
mm-hmm,
from taking Ashley. But then while I'm running back, there's another guy attacking me from the left. And also because you can't move while shooting, I can't like
mm-hmm,
how you do in the new game where you can move forward, pull
mm-hmm.
up your gun, shoot, and still be moving at the same time, right? So you can like pop them and then
Uh-huh.
move past them, kind of deal. Back then, you
Right,
had to
right.
stop
Yeah.
in your place, aim, then shoot, then you could move. It was the
Yeah,
same in Resident
true.
Evil 5. You had to do that as well. Where you could only stop and then shoot while you're aiming, and then only let
Mm.
go of the aiming button, and then you could move. It was a very oddly
Uh,
strange scenario.
yeah. Well, I think you just suck at the game,
I
man.
do.
Because I never had that problem.
I do suck at the game, but my aim is trash. But yes, I can probably do it now with a better controller. Because back then I was playing it on the PS3 as well. The remake, not the
Yeah.
remake, the original. And mind you, the
You know, you,
PS3 analog sticks,
huh?
and the PS3's analog
Oh,
sticks
yeah.
is horrible, absolutely horrible.
Yeah, true. You know, so do you know why I stopped playing Resident Evil 4 years ago?
What was that?
Like, why? It was because of this one puzzle.
Oh,
It wasn't because of the game, how difficult the game was, like the gameplay, the Ganados, or protecting
the
Ash. No,
Ganados are
there was
fun
just
to
one
fight if I'm
puzzle.
alone. But anyways, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, they were really fun to fight. Come
Yeah,
on, shooting them with the knee and suplexing them. That
it
never gets
it
old.
never gets old. It's super fun. But yeah,
Yeah.
what were you saying about that puzzle?
That's also another.
Mm.
Yeah, that puzzle. It was in. You actually play as Ashley in that section.
Oh,
Do you remember
right.
that part?
I haven't played through that part yet. I always get
Ah,
stuck at that cannonball part. But yeah, I haven't gone past that. Yeah, what about that?
oh, that's really early on in the game.
I
Damn.
know. It felt
Yeah,
like years into the
yeah.
game, okay, at that point. The game feels so long for no reason. Even though I'm so early on in the game, it feels so long. Especially because
Uh,
I thought like, oh, I defeated at least like one of the bosses, which was the big guy, the first tyrant you fight.
Mendez,
You meant was his name Mendez?
tyrant.
Not tyrant. He looks like a
Yeah, the
tyrant.
chief.
The chief, yeah.
Yeah, the village chief. Yeah, who transforms into some sort of
skeleton.
SCP to
What?
whatever the hell that was.
Yeah, don't
For what?
question. So I would rather not question what he turned into
Did
because
you
like,
just make a horrible joke?
huh? No,
Did you just make a really horrible?
no, I
No.
didn't. I didn't. No,
I'm just gonna have to watch this podcast again and see
I didn't make a
look at
horrible
what.
joke. Don't worry. I'm like confused as well. I'm as confused as you. Don't worry. I was confused when you said that I make a horrible joke. No, I didn't. I didn't know what. But yeah,
Anyway,
that
yeah, I was talking about the puzzle. There
yeah.
was this section in the game. It
Mm.
was, I think, after the cannonball. It was in the castle
Mm-hmm.
where Ashley gets kidnapped for. It was the second time, I think.
The third time.
No, it was the first time.
First
Yeah,
time?
the first. No, no, it was actually the first time. Yeah, the first time she got.
Oh, taken away
Like,
from you.
after you rescued her, yeah, she gets taken away from me. She runs into this wall, and then she gets chained up, and the
Oh,
wall
is it
flips over.
where she's like, let go of me, Leon, and then she walks like, wait, Ashley, that
Yeah,
part,
yeah,
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 yeah.
that part. A little bit after that scene,
Uh,
after like playing as Leon for a bit, you play as Ashley,
right. And you have to
and
like sneak around, or you have to like throw bombs at
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
no, no, actually, there's no enemies. You had to go through this really dark section of the castle where it's completely dark, and there's just these there's like these knights, ancient you
Oh,
know those the old knights, yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and there's
yeah.
just
What
they're
about him?
just statues, but like after a while they start to move and attack you, and you have to run away from them.
Uh,
But before they start attacking you, there's this one puzzle where you have to shuffle a couple of pieces to form this one picture. And
oh,
that puzzle was so frustrating, I could not do it. And that puzzle is the main reason I stopped playing the game.
that one puzzle.
Yeah.
I can understand. All right, that's understandable.
Eh, And it's not the kind of puzzle that you can, solve by watching YouTube because, once you shuffle it, you can't start from the beginning again.
Oh, it's kind of like the last puzzle in Resident Evil 2 remake with the vials. If you don't do it correctly from the very beginning, you would have to
Mhm.
reconfigure everything. If you mess up once, you have to do it all on your own. You cannot mess up at all,
Yeah,
kind of deal.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly, exactly.
I see what you mean.
You have
Yeah.
to continue from where you left off. And of course, you can't know that from YouTube
No.
because YouTube doesn't know how you messed up.
Exactly. You must do it exactly from the
Yeah.
beginning how they do it. Otherwise, you mess up the entire puzzle. Yeah, I think it's not the cathedral puzzle, right, with the glass stains. That's something else.
That was the church
Yeah,
before you
yeah,
got Ashley.
yeah.
So
Okay,
that,
that's the glass stain puzzle, and when you got Ashley, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay,
yeah, no, that puzzle wasn't that
it
difficult. It was
wasn't that
actually
difficult.
pretty
It was,
easy.
yeah, that's true. That it
Y-
was easy.
That comes back in the remake, by the way.
It does. Interesting.
Yeah.
There's more puzzles come back in the
Mhm.
remake. I hope so. I hope so. I'm excited. I'm really excited to just play this
Yeah.
remake. I bought it and I didn't even play it. I spent like 800 liras just buying this game and then never playing it. So I've been sitting there. It's like two games I've done that for. I bought Persona 5 Royale, right? I have
Mhm.
Persona 5 Royale. That's
Mhm.
great. And then I never played it. It's been sitting there on my PS4 downloaded. All because I'm playing other
Um,
games, bro. It's like mixing it all up.
there's too many. We're adding too many games to our backlog, but we're not finishing any of them.
We're getting busy. That's why real life takes over. But it's right now.
Yeah,
I
true.
am going to do this Resident Evil entirety of it. Like I told you, I am gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm already starting with one. One. I have to go through tank
The
controls.
remaster is
I
a
know
lot better than
the remaster is a lot better. Is I have to go through tank controls for a
yeah.
while. I really hate tank controls. Like I hate it with a passion. But yeah,
Uh, it's just the first game, man. Just the first
it's
game.
first three games.
Unless of course you're gonna play the. Oh,
It's not the
you're gonna
first
play the
game.
original 2 and 3.
Yes. Like I said, I'm playing the
Oh,
original timeline now.
brother, you're
The
you're
original.
in for a hard time.
I know. Code Veronica is already gonna like hit me too much. I know Code Veronica gets like
So
very difficult later down the line.
yeah. So 1, 2, 3, Code Veronica.
Like,
4 is also
it's not
considered
just
tank
see
controls, and
it's one two sorry it's zero one two three.
yeah.
There's another one that came out just before Code Veronica. That's also on the PS2. I forgot what it was called, but it's a Resident Evil game with other survivors from Raccoon City, right? And I'm gonna play that one.
I think it
Uh,
was called Resident Evil Outbreak.
no, maybe you might be right. Resident Evil Outbreak, you might be right.
And there was also another one called Resident Evil Survivor. So
Mm.
probably that.
No,
If you're
so
saying it's about
Survivor,
the
so Resident Evil Survivor is on the DS, and that is only
oh
that's like a whole different thing. It's on a different
oh
island, it's a
okay.
different outback kind of deal. But that's like an old school first person type where you would move in first person and then stop dead in your tracks,
Mm-hmm.
and it will turn into like an on rail shooter section where you gotta shoot the zombies.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like it's on rails. You still gotta like move
Right,
yourself.
right,
Very
right, right.
weird control scheme. But
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, I actually want to do it this way, right? So I wanted to do it where every game that takes place in Raccoon City, I will do that one. All the games that take place within the
Yeah,
mansion and prior to the mansion, which is like Resident Evil Zero and Resident Evil One, I'll
mm-hmm.
do that one, right? All those
Mm-hmm.
mansion games, and then all the ones that take
Yeah,
place in Raccoon City. There's a lot that take place in Raccoon City, mind you. So there's Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, that one Resident Evil game that also takes place in the city, and then there's another Resident Evil Raccoon City, Operation Raccoon City,
yeah,
and then there's one
yeah.
more. I can't remember now. That also takes place in
I
Raccoon
mean,
City.
damn, man. I mean, you're gonna play all of them, huh? I'm not. I'm only gonna play the mainline game
Oh,
and Code
the
Veronica.
reason why is the lore. The lore is why I'm playing
Right,
it.
right.
Because
True, true,
one
true.
of the survivors from Red Raccoon City is in
Mm-hmm.
Dolby, Louisiana. You know where Dolby, Louisiana is?
Is that? Wait, is that
That's
in seven?
yes. So one of the survivors is related to Seven in some
Wow,
way. That's why I want it's the
that is so cool.
but it's so
Oh my
unknown.
god,
It's so unknown. It's so weird how
damn.
it's unknown completely. No one knows this game, but she's
That's what makes Resident. See, this is why I love Resident Evil. The games are connected.
some way or the
It,
other. Some way or the other, they're
yeah, yeah.
connected.
Even the unimportant games, they managed to bring
Connect
that
them.
back, bring those back in. Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
it's just that I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they do it. So good in that
Ah,
rant. Oh my god.
mm-hmm.
But yeah,
That is so interesting.
it is. I didn't know that until I was watching the lore videos, and then I remember he mentioned Dolby, Louisiana, and then I'm like, wait a second, isn't Resident Evil 7 in Dolby, Louisiana? What? There's someone. It's someone's related. I don't know how, but someone's definitely related to Resident Evil 7. But Resident Evil 7 is
There's gotta be an easy.
related to the rest of the series, considering
Yeah, yeah.
at the moment Chris Redfield is working for Blue Umbrella, which is the BSAA, which is
Mm-hmm.
what Chris works for. The BSAA company. That's what Chris works for. They're working together with Blue Umbrella, so it makes sense why he
Yeah.
shows up here, as
Mm-hmm.
well as
See,
Resident.
I'm really excited to see what they're gonna do Resident Evil 9.
Oh, I am. I have to play the DLC first. The DLC that takes place after, with an older version of
For
Ethan's daughter.
oh, you're talking about the DLC for Village.
Yeah,
Shadows
Village,
of Rose.
Shadows of Rose. Yeah, because that also
Yeah,
introduces
yeah.
maybe what they're gonna do with 9. I don't know if they're gonna do 9 or they're gonna do a remake of one of the earlier games.
Yeah, I'm also confused about that. I was thinking, are they gonna remake 5 and 6
How
or
though?
what?
What do you think? Should they
I
remake?
honestly,
Actually, I want to know your thoughts. I have like full thoughts on like
I
remakes and
think.
whatnot. But what are
Wait,
your thoughts
didn't?
on remakes?
Oh, actually, the remakes.
Not just the remakes,
Honestly,
but like
I'm
in
all for them.
Oh, okay. But like in general
I'm all
remakes.
for.
That's what I mean.
In general,
Like
no.
what?
In general, I support remakes
Oh,
as
okay.
long as they stay faithful to the original and they improve over the original game. They add more.
Mm.
Like if the story in the original game, like for example, Resident Evil 4, the
Mm-hmm.
remake is
And
a lot of people say the original is better than the remake, but they say that just because of nostalgia. But
it is
in
really
all
because of
honesty,
nostalgia. Because everyone was
yeah, it's
saying
just
Resident Evil
nostalgia.
4 is like perfect, and I can't agree with you.
Yeah,
I can't. Is
yeah, yeah. But the remake is 1,000 times superior to the original.
okay.
Like they did so many things better and so many things right.
Okay.
Leon is a lot more developed. Like
Ah.
for example, let me give you an example. In the original 4,
Yeah.
obviously that Resident Evil 4 is set after Resident Evil 2, right?
Well, yeah. No, actually,
In the
it's not directly said after Resident Evil 2. It's said, yeah, 6 years, but there's like a mission in the original Resident Evil 4. There is in
Operation Javier.
yes, Operation Javier. Yeah, did you is
Yeah, yeah,
they mention it in Resident Evil
yeah,
remake?
yeah.
There's a whole game,
Yes,
mind
they
you.
do.
There's a whole
They
game.
mentioned that in the remake. Yeah,
Oh,
I know. It's about Krauser and Leon, right? They mentioned that
yes.
in the remake.
Holy shit. Okay, okay. I give it. I
Yeah.
give it. I give it 10 points for that. God damn.
Yes. Yeah. See, this is why I'm telling you, play the original first, so you
Mm.
can see how
I know the
what did they
story
improved in the
completely.
remake.
I know that if it's with the story, I know the story of the original completely.
Yeah, I know you know the story, but you don't know like the dialogue and
I
like
do.
in
I know
depth. Like you just know the story.
some of the dialogue. I do know like what they say to each other.
Mm,
Like I know what
mm,
all the dialogue between. This is because of the law video. The guy basically just says a few words and then shows half the stuff. So I've been watching just
mm-hmm,
cutscenes from the game, but the gameplay I don't know. So like puzzles and monsters you fight, I don't know any of that. That's why I'm still playing the original. I'm gonna play the original
mm-hmm.
eventually. But when it comes to story beats,
Yeah.
that what I know everything. What Leon says to
It was a lore
Ada,
video, so it does make sense.
yeah,
He's gonna highlight the most important parts.
yeah, of the story part, and he
Yeah, yeah.
meant because he goes through that one, the Operation Javier.
Mm.
He goes through that
Yeah,
game,
yeah.
and it's also
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's yeah. I'm excited now to play the remake. You just told me that. Now I'm really excited, bro.
Like you okay, do you remember the opening montage for the opening cutscene for the original 4? The part where
Yes.
Leon is talking about how Umbrella fell down,
Yeah.
what he did.
Yeah. Yeah. What did they
Yeah, in the
say?
original 4,
Mm.
Leon basically he just talks about Umbrella. About okay, this happened to after the
Oh,
Raccoon City incident.
what happened to him? Right?
Umbrella was shut down. All yeah,
Oh.
no, he didn't talk about anything. He didn't say anything about what happened to him.
Oh.
He talked about Umbrella, and then at the
Yes.
end he was
It
like,
was a sort of a
and anyway, I became a government agent.
yeah.
That's it.
That's
You know,
it. Yeah. Yeah.
the game.
They
Yeah.
because if you around that time Resident Evil 4 came out, a lot of other games were there to show and comics were there to show how he came to be in that situation.
Yeah.
So that's why they didn't feel the
Yeah.
need to do that. If you're like a huge Resident Evil fan, you would know what he's been through and how he trained. And because before that, he already did like 3 different missions. He did one with
Mm-hmm.
because he was also called in Code Veronica. He was called by Claire to come and help, but he gave the mission to Chris to go and help her. If you haven't played
Uh,
Code Veronica, right? That's part of the
no,
story
no,
as
I
well.
haven't.
But he was called by Claire to come and help him because he was also working for the government
Oh,
at the time, and so they send him on
right,
different
right.
missions. This was a one of those missions. It was his defining mission, saving the president's daughter.
Princess.
She might as well be, goddammit.
True, true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was I saying? I was talking about yes, yes,
Mm.
the montage, the original.
Yeah.
Basically talked about he was only talking about Umbrella's downfall.
Mm.
He didn't,
Good.
elaborate further on what happened to
To
him.
him, yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was like he talked about Umbrella and he was like, anyway, after that I became a government agent.
Give an
That's
agent,
it.
yeah.
That's literally
He doesn't
yeah.
mention anything else because there are games to like close that off before Resident Evil 4 came out.
Yeah, but they closed that no, but they closed that after
No,
4. For example, Operation Javier came
uh,
out after 4.
yes, it did come out after. It was supposed to be come out prior to 4 because it came out on the Wii. It was supposed to come out
Yeah, yeah.
prior to 4, but they released it afterwards to show what he was talking about and stuff like that.
Y-
Or
Yeah, see, so they elaborated on what happened after, not in the original game itself.
yeah, and
So if you're playing Resident Evil 4 in 2005, you'd
4
be a bit
doesn't
confused. You're like, okay,
doesn't
Leon, what happened? That's it.
that's it.
You
Yeah,
just became a government agent.
yeah.
Yeah, which is not. I mean,
it
it's not.
it
It's
they,
okay. It's acceptable. It's not confusing.
yeah.
But the remake did it a lot better.
Yeah, they went into detail with it, but also this is a new timeline as well. They're not changing a lot of the story, but it's a slightly new
Mm,
timeline if you think about it.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It is a new light sound. No, they did actually make a few changes, like Krauser, his motives, and
His motive in the
even
original
Louise.
was just to be more powerful or something like that, right? Just,
Hmm.
I'm asking. I'm
Yeah,
confused.
and no, no, in the original, no, actually, that wasn't his main motive. His main motive was to bring, I quote, balance to a chaotic world, to restore balance to the chaos of this world, something like
Really,
that.
that was Krauser's
I literally,
original. You just finished
yeah,
that fight. That's why.
I literally just fought him today. By the way, talking about him, I literally fought fight today.
I was just about to say, yeah, you just fought him recently.
Hmm.
Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah. But in the remake, he's well, you'll
Mm.
see for yourself
I'll see for
his
myself.
motives for the remake.
Because
Yeah,
that's definitely what I'm gonna be playing. The remake and then
yeah,
7 and 8. I'm have to play 7. I have 7, but I'm gonna get 8. One way or the other.
yeah. Man, I'm really excited to play 8. 8 is actually kind of special because
Uh,
it's honestly, 8 copies the formula of Resident Evil 4.
It does.
You know,
It copies a
Dark
lot.
Village,
It copies a lot.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, except it's in Romania, if I'm
Yes,
correct, I
and
think.
not Spain.
Yes,
But also
yeah, not
in
Spain.
Resident Evil 8, supposed to the village is actually prior to Resident Evil 1, not the story of Resident Evil 8. I'm talking about the inhabitants of the village because
Yeah, yeah, the story
the
about
story
the,
of the lady that's in charge, Mother Miranda. She
yeah,
she is the one that
she's related to Oswald Spencer, isn't
she is
Oswald
related
Spencer?
Oswald Spencer, yes, Oswald Spencer, because there's
Yeah.
three there was three higher ups, three founders.
Mm-hmm,
Oswald Spencer was one of
mm-hmm,
them, and then the Wesker's father, or the one Wesker's
mm-hmm,
guardians, the Weskers, so his sister and him,
mm-hmm,
and there
mm-hmm,
was one other who is the main villain of Resident Evil Zero. Is they killed him, and
mm-hmm.
so with his experimental leeches, he turned into the Leech Queen or something. Resident Evil Zero explains who he is, but he's the original. He's also the reason why things went south in the mansion,
Oh,
because he's the one that released the T
okay.
virus in the mansion and then released it um, into Raccoon
Raccoon
City.
City.
Yeah. So the progenitor
Mm-hmm,
to the entirety of Resident Evil series is one of the founders, and Oswald
mm-hmm,
Spencer is only the only reason why they mention Oswald Spencer is because he had found the flower that creates that's in Africa that created the T virus, the originator of the T virus.
mm-hmm.
That's why they mention him in Resident Evil 8. She found
Oh,
this whatever baby thing that was, and he found
yeah, yeah.
the T virus. They both wanted immortality. Well, she wanted a child,
Mm-hmm.
and he wanted immortality. So
My
that's the.
God, man, this series, man, the lore behind it is
It's,
it's just so fascinating. You're telling me things I didn't even know about.
I've been
Like,
watching. That's why I'm so interested to play the games now. Because I was like, before I did watch the lore video for four, I was sitting to myself and thinking, should I go and play four first, or, or watch this?
I
Which
honestly think you
one?
should.
I would. I
I
know.
honestly, I think you should really play 4.
I know. I
I mean,
do.
you watch the lore video, that's enough. But playing 4,
It's
look,
different.
you're gonna play the original one way or another, right?
Yes, I'm gonna play. That's why I'm gonna go through all the games in consecutive order. So all the remake games
Mhm,
in one, not in remake games,
mhm,
all the Raccoon City games in one, all the Resident Evil Under Umbrella's Downfall in one, and then all the Legacy of Umbrella in one, basically.
mhm.
So
Okay, makes sense. But I really think you should play the original
I
4, at
do,
least 4. Let's play the original 4 before the
I
remake
do. That's
4.
true. I do want to play it before. I'll think about it. I'll
Because
ponder on it.
yeah, because there's also a lot of like cheesy. There's a lot of in the remake. There's a lot of save the line Leon moments in the game. If you played 4,
Yes, I know some of his lines, his cheesy lines from the original. Even the
yeah, yeah. I
I
mean,
can dictate to you the line he says after the village where he's in the main town, the town hall area,
uh,
and he goes,
that infamous. Where's
Where's
everyone
everyone
going?
going?
Bingo.
Bingo.
Everyone knows that line.
So iconic, so iconic.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
And
that's
also the
mm,
incredible.
good.
There are some lines. Of course, there were too cheesy, and they didn't bring it back. Because
Yeah,
and honestly, like I can understand why they bring it back. Like I don't know if you know this. The Sadler, you're small time. You know that line?
I think I know that line. Wait, is it when he sees Sadler for the first time? Or is it after
No, no, no. It was after he
he,
killed who? He
it's
killed
after
Mendez.
Mendez? It's after he killed Mendez. Then okay.
Yeah, yeah. And Sadler called him, and he said something like, "Do you think I'm gonna bother that you killed my small-time subordinate?"
Uh,
And Leon, in an attempt to look and sound really cool, he
is
said this
this
line,
you,
"Sadler, you are small-time."
very grade school? No, you. Oh my God, Leon.
Yeah, no, it's not no you. He
Uh,
calls his subordinate small-time, but Leon tried to sound cool. He
yeah,
tried
I
to
know.
make this
I said call
smart
him
line.
small time. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It
Hey.
doesn't even make sense. It's
It
like,
doesn't make
what do you
sense.
mean you're smart?
It doesn't. That's the whole point. It's just a cheesy one-liner that Leon thought of for no reason
That's
whatsoever.
what I love about the Leon in the original. He's such a dork. Like, come on, Leon, you're
It,
already cool.
yes,
You have to try
that's the
even
thing.
harder.
But the thing is, he got more hardened as the years went on. Also, what he's been through
Yeah.
in Damnation, Degeneration, and all those other games that he's
Mm.
been in. You can see it now. He's no longer like he's just cool. He's not trying to be
Mm.
cool.
Yeah, and that's why it works. And that's why it's not cringy.
No.
When he says a dorky line, nobody hates him for it because they're like, you're trying to be cool, but you
Yes.
already are cool. So we're gonna
Exactly.
let it.
You can
We'll
let
let
it
it slide.
slide. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. You can let it slide because it's actually a fight
Mm.
between him. You remember? I remember just now you were saying that he's like the face of Resident Evil, but it's between him and
Yeah.
Chris Redfield. It's
Mm.
between him and Chris Redfield because they've been with the three between the two of them. Some say Chris is way cooler, and then it's either Chris is cooler or Leon is cooler because they even they
Nah, man, it's Leon.
Leon.
Everyone loves Leon. Chris is the OG. We can say that Chris was the main hero before Leon, but after Leon came,
Yeah.
you know, everyone just fell head over heels for Leon.
For Leon. Though
You know, Leon
the
stole the spotlight.
the real stars of the show is Claire and Jill.
Yeah, yeah,
Like fucking hell, the games they're in is crazy. Revelations 1 and 2,
I know.
what the hell? Shit goes like Revelations 1 was crazy. It's a crazy game, honestly.
Mhm.
Fun but crazy.
It takes place on a ship, if I remember correctly, right?
Mostly on a ship. It's between a ship and like an ice lake. It's all over the world essentially. It doesn't take place in like a
Damn.
single place. It's like all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
But Resident Evil 2 Revelations 2 is all over the place. In on one island,
Mm-hmm.
dealing with Albert
Damn, that
Wesker's
sounds
sister. Like what? It's crazy.
that sounds terrifying.
It is.
What was her name? Alice Wesker?
Alex Wesker, not Alice. Alice is Resident
Alex.
Evil, the live action movies. Okay,
Yeah. Right. Okay.
that's
So I
Alex.
confused. I got confused there.
Yeah. Have you seen those movies, by the way? Just it's also part of it. But have you seen those movies?
No, I never did.
You never
I
did.
haven't gotten around to watching them. No, no.
Oh, bro, you're missing out some of the cheesiest like the most Resident Evil movies. Okay, they
Like it captures the true essence of Resident Evil.
not
We're talking about
entirely.
B movie done. Huh?
It's very B movie, but it's not entirely capturing all the charm because they don't have every single charm of Resident Evil. It has only one charm, the most
The
unrealistic shit happening in the story. That's why.
over the top action.
Yes, way too over the top. Like
Ah,
think of this:
it's
the main character is shooting, a sawed-off shotgun, right? She's loading
yeah, yeah.
cylinders of coins and shooting coins out of a sawed-off shotgun. It's so outrageous,
I
bro.
don't. You know, I wouldn't believe you, but because this is Resident Evil we're talking about,
Yeah,
I'm not surprised.
that would. I wouldn't be surprised either, bro. It's not just that. There's even she fights hand to hand with Nemesis. Yes,
Hand to hand. Okay, that's
yes.
ridiculous.
I'm
No,
not
come on.
kidding. See, they both have like some sort of viral infection, so they both have like enhanced strength. That's why she's fighting against Nemesis. It's in Resident Evil Apocalypse. It's one of the craziest movies. They even use some of it in Resident Evil 4. If you noticed, do you know is there a laser section in Resident Evil 4?
Yeah, there is. There is a laser section.
That came from Resident Evil 1, the movie.
Damn, I
Yes.
didn't know that.
It came out in 2002, the movie, so that came from the movie. Originally, they weren't gonna have such a
Yeah.
scene, but they took it from the movie because the movie got like really popular for some reason.
Mm-hmm. But they didn't bring that laser section back in the remake.
Oh, they
So
didn't. Oh, that's sad, actually.
no, but
Damn. Okay, fair enough.
yeah, no, but then again, it wasn't realistic. If you have you seen the laser section in the fourth
Yes,
one?
I have seen the laser section. I've seen it in
Come
both,
on, man.
and I've seen it. I've seen
There
it.
was no way they were gonna.
What do you mean? That shit can be any
There
game.
was no way they couldn't bring that back in the remake, in the fourth remake.
He's okay.
It was
Fair enough.
too.
Dude.
Yeah.
He's parrying a chainsaw with a bloody knife. What do you mean they couldn't bring that back?
Oh right. Yeah. You got. You have a point.
Yeah, he can parry a chainsaw, but he cannot dodge lasers, bro. That's something else. He can parry a chainsaw, but dodging lasers, no, that's too
Mm,
far, bro.
Dude, you can imagine my reaction when I played the chainsaw demo for the first time, and when I found out you could, when I paired the chainsaw, I'm like,
Wow.
this is Resident
This
Evil.
is
This is, you know what? This is gonna be a masterpiece.
yes, that's true. I agree. Because I didn't even get to do that when I was playing the demo. I played it only once, but I never even got to parry the chainsaw. I didn't know you could. I was just running away. I was playing it like Resident Evil, the original. You couldn't parry a
Yeah,
chainsaw
yeah.
with your knife.
Now I got cornered, and the guy was about to hit me, and thank God my knife wasn't broken, so I parried him.
Your knife can
It's like I
break.
saw the prompt, and yeah, yeah, your knife can break. Well, it was in the
Oh,
demo,
I didn't know
was it
that.
not?
It was in the demo. It's been a while. It's been a while. I did play the demo,
Yeah.
but I don't remember. So
Mm.
that's not in the
It
original
can be.
though. Your
Yeah, that's
knife.
not in the. You see, that's the. You see, that's the thing. That's what one of the most interesting things about the remake is that it adds a lot, but at the same time it nerfs a lot. You know, so
Yeah,
that the game doesn't feel so that you don't. It doesn't feel too much action. There's still this element of survival horror.
survival horror. Yeah,
Like okay, and yeah, in the original, you couldn't move and shoot at the same time,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that was a
Big
yeah, that was a
hindrance.
very
Big
yeah, it
hindrance.
was a big hinder exactly. In the remake, now you can move and shoot,
Mm.
but that would be too easy now, right? So now what do? They make the spaces more enclosed, and the
Mm.
Ganados are much more relentless and
Oh.
terrifying. You know,
Okay.
so it balances that it's out. It
Mm.
balances everything out.
Mm.
Even the knife in the original, you can't do much with a knife. You can just stab the enemies. That's it, right?
You could
But
like
in
do like full playthroughs of knife onlys, dude. So
yeah, yeah, but there's not with actions you couldn't do much. But in the remake, you can parry,
yeah,
you can disarm traps, you can do a lot with a knife.
yeah, that's true.
But it would be too OP. So
Mm.
they had to nerf it a bit.
Make it
So now
a
what? They added a durability meter. Now your knife can break.
the knife
You
can
can
break.
use it a lot more often. It can help you, but now it'll break.
Yeah, that does
Yeah.
it does balance it out a little bit. It's not too easy. It's not too
Mm,
difficult. I do agree
mm,
that's something they should have done. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, so
I watched a video that explained that actually.
yeah, okay. I thought that was you thinking figuring that out.
No, no, it was something I noticed by myself, but
uh,
I watched the video and he also highlighted these points as well.
okay, fair enough, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right then. All right, since we're gonna be ending it soon, I'm gonna just really quick ask you, name your favorite Resident Evil games
Mm.
that you have played, and I'll name mine.
My favorite Resident that I have played.
Yes.
Uh, can't decide, man.
Just name like two
I think it
of your
would be
favorites.
like I know this is a bad choice, but I think 2 and 4 remake. You know, because I love Leon.
The bias is real. The bias is real. Okay, yeah. So 2 and 4, fair enough.
Yeah, 3 would have been on the list if it was longer.
Okay,
Is all.
because
But 2 and 4 was I think
uh
perfect.
they
A huge improvement over the original, and
mm,
like they didn't they didn't they did it perfectly. There's
okay.
nothing.
Uh,
There's no flaw in it.
no flaw in it. Fair enough. For me, it's
Mm,
Resident Evil 6 and Resident
mm.
and Resident Evil 2 remake. I enjoyed those the
Yeah.
most. Playing through those. Resident Evil 6 is just too much
Mm,
fun. Even though it's so over the top, it's so much fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, Resident Evil 2 remake. There's this charm about Resident Evil 2 remake. It has this nostalgic feeling
That
to it. Even when I played the game for the first.
it does have that nostalgic
Like,
feeling. I agree. I agree.
yeah. Yeah. It's not like 4 remake. When I played 4, it didn't feel that nostalgic. But 2 felt nostalgic. You know, it felt like an old style game. You're
Yeah.
trapped in this
In the
huge
mansion,
police
police
department.
department.
Yeah.
Excuse me, police department.
Mm. Mm.
A used police
And to
department.
progress, you have to unlock different doors, and you have to
Yeah.
solve lots of puzzles, and you're being chased by a monster. You know, it's perfect too.
It,
It's perfect.
it just hits all the it hits all the Resident Evil beats. The only thing that they could have done
Exactly.
is that having Leon and Claire's playthroughs be completely different. The B playthroughs, right? So the B
Mm.
playthroughs
Mhm.
in the original game, if you played as Leon first, right? Leon would only ever
Yeah.
would never fight Barry Burton. He would fight Barry Burton's first form. Claire would fight his second form. You see what I'm saying?
Barry Burton?
Not Barry Burton. Fucking William Birkin.
You got me William Burton. You got me
William.
confused there for a second. I'm like, what
I
did
got
Barry Burton turn
myself.
into a monster?
I got myself confused. Okay, they both have some very similar sounding last names, Birkin
Right, right,
and
right.
Birkin. So,
Burton. Yeah,
Burton
yeah,
and Birkin. Anyway, so
yeah.
William, when Leon fights his first form, and Claire fights his
Yeah,
second form. She doesn't fight his first form
yeah.
as well. Same with like how
Mm-hmm.
Leon would encounter Mr. X, but Claire would never encounter Mr. X. She would only encounter William Birkin. You see what I'm saying?
True, true.
And so
Yeah, yeah, that's
when
one thing they didn't do right in the
exactly
remake.
in the remake, and so
It's
when
not consistent.
it's not consistent. If something that
Mm,
Leon had picked up, Claire won't have that, right? She would
yeah,
find her weapon somewhere else. She wouldn't find it in the exact
yeah,
same
yeah.
location as he found his big weapon, like her rocket launcher and his uh,
Yeah, yeah.
shotgun. So you could
Yeah,
see
that's
it.
what actually that I remember that when I played Resident Evil 2 remake recently, like a few months ago, and that really confused me. When I
Mm,
played Clear B
mm,
and I got my shotgun, when you play as Leon, you get the shotgun in the police
yeah,
in the locker room
yeah,
police station. So when I did Clear B and I got the same shotgun
yeah.
from the same locker room, I'm
Same
like,
locker.
what?
How does it
That's
make sense?
weird.
Exactly.
Yeah, it
It's,
doesn't make sense.
it didn't
And
make.
even Mr. X,
He shouldn't
like
have
the
he,
helicopter.
yes, he shouldn't have appeared when you
Mm,
play as Claire for the first time. He shouldn't have appeared on the roof. You shouldn't have encountered
yeah,
him
yeah,
essentially at all.
yeah, yeah. Like no, in Leon A, I encountered him for the first time on the roof
Yeah,
with
pulled open
when he moved the
the
helicopter.
exactly.
Yeah.
If
So,
that's
but
the
when I was playing,
yes, mm,
when I played Player B,
mm,
the helicopter was still there,
exactly.
and I was confused. Like, wait, Leon already went through this, so why is the helicopter still there? It's not consistent.
It's not consistent. That is exactly it. But in the
They got a bit
original,
lazy in that
in the
around that part.
around the B
Just
plots, yeah, the B plots they got a bit
yeah.
lazy because in the original that was the case. They were very consistent. When something that Leon
Mm,
had, Claire didn't have, and when something that Claire had, Leon didn't have. That's why.
yeah. And whatever happened to Leon when you play as Claire, you can see that okay, it already happened to
Yes,
Leon.
to Leon. It won't happen to Claire when you
Mm,
play in her B playthrough, or if you play Claire first and
mm,
play Leon B, same thing. Should apply.
mm.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, before we end, I wanted to ask you, the guest, Gobble Bum, what are your 5 favorite games of all time?
Ooh, 5 favorite games of all time. Okay,
I know
first,
it
you know
changes.
me, man.
I know it changes a lot. So, what's it right now?
Yeah, it does change. Right now, the first one, Final Fantasy 7.
Ooh.
That will never change.
Okay.
It will never change. It'll always Final Fantasy 7 will always have a special place in my heart.
Fair enough. It's your first JRPG.
Yeah,
I can't disagree.
yeah, yeah. And second would be, hang on, I have my list actually down here.
Go ahead.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Really?
Yeah,
That's surprising.
yeah, I love that.
Okay.
No, I love the story and the character
I
development.
I do
The
love it as well. I'm gonna play it.
Yeah, it
I'm gonna
wasn't
replay it.
perfect.
Wasn't perfect, but I'm gonna replay it now on PC and see how it is. I can play it on my PC.
Yeah, and well, what else? Red Dead Redemption 2, also masterpiece,
Fair enough.
flawless.
Okay.
Yeah,
I beg to
and
differ, but we'll not get into that
Yeah,
argument.
man. No, no. Everyone disagrees with you. Everyone thinks Red is a masterpiece. Okay, it's just you that doesn't like it.
I know, I know. I really don't like Red Dead, but yeah. Anyways, I enjoyed the
Sweet.
story,
Anyway,
but I didn't
and
like the gameplay.
yeah. Also, Death Stranding. I love that game as well.
Okay,
It's not a
so
game that I play again,
okay,
but as for the first time experience, it's a one-time experience.
okay.
That's all I can say. It was amazing,
What you mean
out of
he?
this
But
world. I've
you
never
went
played.
and you went and platinum the game. What do you mean a
Yeah, I
one-time
did.
experience? A 1 hour, 100 hour
Yeah,
experience? What you mean?
yeah, true.
Yeah.
And then after that, that's how many games is that? Seven.
Mm.
Cyberpunk, Red Dead, and Death Stranding. That's 4 games.
One more.
The fifth one, which is something a game you and I both love, Nier Automata.
Oh, Near Automata. Oh my
Yeah,
god. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
yeah,
Agreed. Agreed. I love Near Automata as well. I was gonna now.
yeah,
That's also in my top 5. Surprisingly.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's your
Yes, it's
five.
such a special game.
So
Mhm.
number one would definitely be Final Fantasy VII.
Yep.
Fair enough. All right. So mine is not Resident Evil. I was about to say no. Mine is
Wait, let me guess. Devil May Cry?
Devil May Cry 5. Number one.
I knew it.
Number one is Devil May Cry 5, right? And you know
Mhm.
why. You know why. I know why. It's
Of
no
course
need to
it.
explain. And then number
Yeah.
two, surprisingly, Kingdom Hearts 2.
Ah,
Yeah.
interesting.
If you play it,
I don't know much about the games.
if you play Kingdom Hearts, bro, you would love Kingdom Hearts. I'm telling you, you would absolutely love Kingdom Hearts.
I will add it to my backlog.
Like,
It's. I'll play it someday
you can play it from
after I
my
finish
account.
all the remaining.
I currently once you finish Resident Evil, of course, try all the
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts games. I'm telling you, you will enjoy it. You will really like it.
All right. Yeah, yeah. I could tell. I could tell. Because it is a Japanese.
A
It's a
JRPG.
JRPG, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
guy who did the character models for the original Final Fantasy VII,
Mm-hmm.
he directed Kingdom Hearts one, the Kingdom Hearts series.
Oh, what's his name? Nomura?
Not
Tetsuya
Nomura.
Nomura.
That's no. It's the I forgot now. I gotta look it up quickly, but
He's the one who designed.
it is the one who designed the face models for Final Fantasy VII. That's his name.
Yeah, it was Nomura. Yeah,
That's it.
Tetsuya Nomura.
If it's
He
that
actually based.
based it off
You
of
remember Reno?
Reno, yeah.
Yeah, Reno was inspired. I think it was either Reno was inspired by Axel or Axel was inspired by Reno. It was one of them. I forgot.
Oh no, Axel was inspired by Reno. Probably then he's definitely
Okay.
he's because he's the director of the entire Kingdom Hearts series, all the way until Kingdom
Yes,
Hearts
it's
3.
definitely Nomura. Yeah,
Okay,
Tetsuya Nomura.
Destiny. Okay, there we go. Destiny Amora. Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
That's why Kingdom Hearts 2
Nice.
is my favorite because the story, the music, my god, the music, the
Oh,
characters,
for
it hits different,
eh,
bro.
can I ask you something? Is it emotionally? How do I say? How is the story emotionally speaking?
The story is not sad. It's
Yeah.
it's very uplifting. There's a lot in it that's like
Mm-hmm.
metaphorical about oneself, but it's very
Mm-hmm.
interesting in the way that they talk about the characters and how they
Right.
go through this journey in Kingdom Hearts. It's very
Yeah.
interesting. But the music is basically similar to that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you
Nice.
think
Okay.
Final
I
Fantasy
wish.
music, but very good.
Oh.
It's just similar to that. Not as good, but similar to
Okay.
that. But like,
All right. All right.
but it's a mixture of Disney and Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw some Disney characters in the
Yeah, because
some videos.
it's to do with the Disney world, Disney's
Mm-hmm.
worlds and characters. It's when Disney was
Right.
actually not well, when Disney was putting out some good shit. Anyways, so Kingdom Hearts 2 is number 2, right?
Uh-huh.
And then I have Near Automata is number 3, of
Yeah.
course, the one and
All
only.
right. All right. Mm-hmm.
I think 5,
Four. That's the
4,
fourth game.
4. Oh my god, this is a tough choice. No, I'm between 4 and 5. Uh, God damn it, I can't think of it right now. It's there. It's there on the tip of my tongue. It's one of my favorite games.
Ghost of Tsushima.
No, no, it's not there. Not Ghost of Tsushima. Ah,
Mm.
Bloodborne.
Oh. Oh. Right. 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 Yeah.
Bloodborne, and then finally, um,
I'm trying to guess what the last game is.
take a
Uh,
guess while I try to think of it.
I mean, there's so many games.
I've played so many games, but
Mm,
there's this one that I really, really just cannot stop playing.
you
Uh,
cannot stop playing.
not
Wait.
just stop playing, but like I really absolutely love playing. Uh,
Uh, can you give me a hint? Like, what genre is it?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of it. So like throw any
Oh, you're thinking of it too.
so just like throw at me the names and then it probably will hit me. Uh, shit.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't know it.
I mean,
I
my best guess is Devil May Cry 3. That's
Nah. Devil May Cry 5 is like that just encompasses Devil May Cry as a whole as number one. And it,
True,
it
true.
is a Japanese made game. I can't put my finger on it. It's one of my favorite games that I've ever played from a Japanese studio.
Square Enix, no. Capcom.
It might be a Square. Ah, Final
What?
Fantasy 15, nigga. Like
15? Ah,
what? There we go. I knew it was some Japanese game. Yeah, that's the one.
yeah,
Final
yeah, yeah.
Fantasy 15, bro. There's all five of mine.
Yeah, yeah, that game's also pretty good. That's also on top of my favorites list.
Oh,
Not top five, but
it's in there. It's
like
up there.
honestly, I can't decide. Like
I
my top five. I wish I could put all my games in my top five. You know, like
all your games. Goodness me.
yeah, no, not all of them. Like there's so many games that I wish I could put on my top five.
But
Like God of
then
War,
yes,
Ghost of Tsushima,
but are
Devil
they
May
as
Cry
good
3.
as the ones that are in your top five? Gotta think of it like that, right? Their games are good, but
Hmm.
are they as good as those in your top five?
Just God of War
Okay.
and Devil May Cry 5
The
and 3.
first one though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, the fourth one,
The first one in the
the
new,
reboot.
yeah, the reboot one, the soft reboot one. That's what I meant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
God of War 2018. Okay, I
yeah, and
agree with you with that one. I like the first one. Don't so much like the
yeah,
second one as
yeah. I'm
much.
gonna play that as well.
Play it for
So I'm
yourself and,
gonna.
and see for yourself. Because for me, the second one didn't hit as hard as the first one ever
Mhm.
did. Like the first one hit so well, but the second one it doesn't. For me at least. People really like the second one, but I don't like it as much.
Mhm.
Lots of missed
Well,
opportunities.
I'll take your opinion with a grain of salt
Yeah, take
because
it with
this
a
is
grain of
coming from
salt.
someone who doesn't like Red Dead Redemption. So
Yeah,
yeah.
no, see,
So.
like I said, I don't like Red Dead Redemption's gameplay. I love its story. The story is great
Uh.
until you get
Uh.
to the second epilogue of the story. Then, okay,
Second epilogue.
the epilogue of the story. When you get to the epilogue, you're like, okay, author's dead. The story's over. Can we move on to the next game now? But I
It was the
did.
complete opposite for me.
Oh, you did like the epilogue. Damn.
I loved it. No, when Arthur died, I was sad that the game ended so soon. But then when I continued, I'm like,
So
oh wait, there's
soon,
more.
bro. The game was fucking long. What do you mean so soon?
Yeah, but it's one of those games that are long, but it's not. How do I say this? It didn't drag
For
on
me,
for
it,
long.
it, it
You know?
dragged because I didn't really much enjoy the gameplay. What I mean by I don't like the gameplay is the very slow moving around the world. So a
Hmm.
game where a world that isn't so interesting to explore. For example, I don't mind moving around a night city in Cyberpunk. I would never use fast travel in Night
Oh
City
yeah,
because it's like it's not a
yeah.
city you see any other day. It's not like something I would see
True,
when I
true.
walk out of the door. But Red Dead Redemption
Mm.
feels like something I would see every other day. Like I can eventually visit.
Yeah, true, true. I mean, the setting and the genre, it's not exactly that interesting. It is set in the 1800, late 1800s, basically, at the end of the what was it called? The Wild West era. So
Yes, the Wild West era. So it's set thin, and so if you
yeah,
just go to America's Outback or Australia's Outback, there you go. There's Red Dead Redemption. But you would never get something like Night City, right?
cyberpunk.
You
Yeah.
would never
Well,
see
I mean,
that.
no, you could actually just go to Hong Kong or Tokyo.
Even
You
in
get
Hong
a
Kong,
pretty
like
close.
you'd get close to it, but you never get that futuristic look
True, true, true.
of the roads,
Yeah,
the
yeah, true.
futuristic look of the buildings, and like I would not mind
But
walking to my destination instead of driving there in Cyberpunk, because it's not
hey,
it's
man, that's how I played Cyberpunk. You think I drove? I walked through the city.
I did that a few times, but then I got bored. But you could see that it's possible to do that. I would never do that in Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, no, of course not. Of course not. I mean, Red Dead Redemption 2 is it like it's not a city.
Yeah,
It's just
it's
like
open
countryside and land.
countryside, open land.
Yeah,
But I see that enough in
yeah.
The Witcher 3. So it's not that moving around the world was what dragged for me and what made
Mm,
it feel so long.
mm,
But the gameplay, it wasn't so bad. It was kind of sluggish. It felt like GTA, like not GTA, but felt like Rockstar's realistic combat style or gameplay style. It's not so
it
smooth.
was
It's
too realistic.
at
Yeah,
times.
yeah. It's slow.
But the story is what
Yeah, I
kept me
can.
playing. Like I see why you like it. The
Mm,
story is what keeps you playing. What you want to
mm,
see the end of the story. But yeah, I don't
right.
hate it, but I don't
Yeah.
like it as much. I don't hate it.
Yeah, I love it, but
Mm.
I can see, I
Mm.
can understand why you don't
I also
like it that
understand
much.
why you would like it. Mm.
You like fast-paced games. I mean, Devil May Cry 5 is your favorite game. Imagine someone, a DMC fan, playing a slow ass game like Red Dead, and it just
Yeah,
doesn't work.
fair enough. I do have some games that I like are slow and slow paced. There's some, but that means the
Yeah.
story's like really, really, really good. You have to have that, where the
Mm,
story
mm,
hits you like a truck.